I'm going to show you some different shape Shisha mirrors now. So if you haven't seen part 1 of this Shisha series, then just pop over and check that now. And this is just to show you really how to put the grid down on a different shaped mirror, and then how to get around a corner. So I'm going to start with a square one. You see I've got a square, triangle and a diamond shape. So we'll start with the square one. Again, you can put your 2 starting stitches underneath your mirror, just as we did for the circular one. And I'm going to use the double grid system because I think it's much stronger. So there is the centre of my square, so just off the centre. This one tends to stay on a little bit easier because it's got corners on it, the thread doesn't slip off the corners. So straight across to the other side. I'm going to come up the same side now, about the same distance in from the edge there, just off that centre line again, and 2 on the horizontal. I'm not locking these stitches together, I'm just going straight over the top because I'm going to put my second grid in. So now we're going to bring stitches up at the corner, so not in this centre part here, at the corner. So I'm just going to come back to where I started and just come to the left of that in the corner. I'm going to go straight across to the other side, again in the corner, not to the centre, this is the centre part here, come just to the outside of that on the corner and go across that side there, stay on the same side, across to the other side into that corner section, and then to the opposite corner, straight across there, stay in that corner section there, straight down, straight up, still in the corner, across to the other side, and there I have my double grid for a square mirror. So nice and simple, that one. That one will stay on a little bit better, like I say, because of the corners. Right, let's show you a diamond one now. Very similar to the square, obviously it's slightly bent kind of square shape, but I'll show you the diamond also. So now we're going to come up on what's a side of it now, doesn't matter which side you start on, straight across to the other side. Stay on the same side, just off that centre line as for the square. Make sure your stitches come up right on the edge of the mirror, make it nice and secure. Across the other side, making an elongated square really. So there's my first grid. Over the top, so for the second grid, remember your corners are going to come up and down in the corners, so we'll start in the top here, just on the inside of that stitch, so we're looking at this corner here, cross to the other corner, there's my corner, just inside that, stay on the same corner there, cross to the other side in the corner shape, and then 2 more on either side. To finish off that grid, and you'll notice in the middle of your grids you have the centre part. This is where you take your needle in for the middle, so there's the middle of it, so make sure you've got that nice central part there. There's the one on the square there, look. So nice, strong, secure grid. And then the last one that I'm going to show you is a triangle. Now the triangle is a little bit different. It's hard to get that double grid in, so I found the best way to do a triangle is to do a single grid but double it up and literally do 2 grids over the same spot. So in place there. So it's going to be one stitch basically along each side. So there's the centre of my side, about there. So just off centre. And I'm going to follow each side, so parallel with each side of the triangle. So there's my first stitch. Doesn't matter really what order you do these in, stay on the same corner. So parallel with this side now. And then we've just got that last side to go. So come up on that same corner, across there, so parallel with that edge. And then just to make this one secure, go over and repeat and do the same again. Just going to come to the outside of them now. So we need to find the centre, which will actually be in here. There's the centre. So just double up that grid now, doing a second one over it, just so if one of these stitches should come undone or break, then you've got something else holding that in place. Just on the outside of each of those, just to secure that, and you can see there's my triangle in the middle. That's going to be the centre of a triangle Shisha. And I'm just going to show you a corner because they're a little bit different. Obviously you've got no corners on a circle, but now we've got lots of corners, so I'm just going to do a bit of the Shisha stitch to show you how to get around the corner. So I'm going to start fairly close to it, so straight up on the side of your mirror, make that anti-clockwise loop. Needle comes in that centre triangle that we've made, out to the edge underneath your grid, but inside that loop. So that thread is on top. Okay, don't pull it too tightly. And then this thread crosses over, goes down just a little bit ahead of yourself there, a little forward stitch. And then to start the next stitch we come back, which is in between those 2 points, and we repeat. So there's our anti-clockwise loop underneath the grid. Just going to come that side of the grid now. So this central point here will always be the same, and we're going to fan the stitch around this point here. So keep following the shape of your mirror. As long as you follow it, you shouldn't get in any difficulty. Forward stitch, backward stitch, make your loop, coming from the same point now, out to the corner, and this stays in the same place in the middle, but the outside will just follow the shape of your triangle mirror. Back on yourself. There's my loop, out to the point, and you can just see that start to come around the shape now. Just keep working around the shape. Don't have to think this is different, this is harder. Just following the shape, whatever shape mirror it is, just follow it with your outside stitches and keep stepping forward around it. And then when you get to the point, just bring my needle out a little bit on that point, just to give it a nice sharp edge. There's my loop. Underneath my grid, and now I'm starting to go up the other side of my triangle. Don't worry about that little gap there, we can just bring the stitches around under the grid and then back up the other side like so. Do one more stitch. There we go, that's around the corner now. The corners are quite sharp, these mirrors have got a certain thickness to them, and there's a little bit of the point of the mirror just showing there, so it's just very easy just to pop back, put an extra stitch in there, just come underneath everything, just pass that over. There we go, just covered up that point so it doesn't stick out and you can see your stitches and not your mirror. So that's how you do different grids, and that's how you get around a corner. So don't need to think about them differently really, just make sure that you follow the outside of your mirror with your stitching, And again, as for the round mirrors, just take care to get nice even tension all the way around, stitches nice and close together, and just practice.